Well, it's a new season. It's in a new place. We might as well get started. This is season 2. As far as my favorite games goes, typically I do not like the mainstream games. Call of Duty, Battlefield, and EA Sport, and 2K games, just to name a few. One of my least favorite genres in gaming is first-person shooters. And I know what you're thinking. Dallin, you left us for months and months to do a review of a game that is an FPS. Yes I did. It's because this game is awesome. But this is not just your average ordinary FPS. This is one of the best FPS and one of my favorite games of all time. This game is Overwatch. This game blew my socks off, and I really enjoyed the gameplay the first time I played it. It's spectacular gameplay, masterful soundtrack, and awesome characters to choose from. But just how good is Overwatch? And is this game as great as I say it is? Let's find out on my Season 2 premiere and Overwatch. Overwatch came to be from Blizzard's decision to cancel a crazy new MMORPG called Titan in 2013. The project was going for a while, in fact around 7 years. After the project was cancelled, Blizzard had come up with an idea for a team-based FPS. After getting the approval to make such a game, this game was developed for around 3 years and would be Blizzard's first new IP since StarCraft. The game was then finished and the game came out worldwide on May 24, 2016 under the name Overwatch. The gameplay for Overwatch is actually a very simplistic concept for an FPS. First off, you select play, then one of the 4 game modes. For this review, I'll be looking at quick play and competitive play. After selecting the game mode and praying you'll find a match within around 2 minutes. No, seriously, finding a match is horrendous sometimes. After finding a match, the game begins. You have around 2 separate modes. The first is to move the payload. Your goal is to defend the payload and get it to its destination, or stop it from getting to said destination. The other game mode is kind of hand in hand, as you will need to take a point or you'll need to defend the point while gaining an advantage that requires good skill and teamwork. Going Michael Jordan on people will not fly. Depending upon how good your team is or how evenly the matched are is really how long the match can actually take. For example, if I'm on a really good team, then you'll see a match go in a span of about 8 minutes, or the same goes if you're on a bad team, then your demise will happen within a span of 8 minutes. As well as if you are a 2 evenly matched team, then you could be looking at a half-hour match. And as far as the maps go, honestly, depending upon whatever side you are on, whether it be offense or defense, the maps are evened out to make sure that every character has a way to play with a fair advantage in this game. I really like that because if this is your first time playing Overwatch, then you won't have as hard of a time playing this game. You'll still look like a noob, but not too much of a noob. Yeah, because that makes sense. As far as the control goes in this game, for me, it really stands out. I actually play the PC version of this game, and I have to say, controlling anyone on a keyboard at first sounds like a daunting task. But when you master controls along with moving the mouse to point at your target, it really makes the game easier, but also a ton of fun. In Overwatch, there are a ton of characters to choose from, and they all range from different abilities that each character specializes. For example, if I want to play with Soldier 76, not only would I have a way to shoot with a machine gun, which is ultra powerful, but then I can also heal people, which is a really fun ability to have. Not only that, I can shoot a bomb out of my gun to do massive damage. However, my favorite character is not Soldier 76. My favorite character in this game is Bastion. Alright, before you all start to hate comment me, I don't really care. You can hate me if you want to. Bastion is my jam, and I will not change who I like. Bastion is in my opinion the most versatile character in the game. Although his speed has something to be desired, he can heal himself, which is awesome. He also has a machine gun, which is just as powerful, or if not more powerful than Soldier 76's machine gun. But the best thing about Bastion is his Gatling gun. It is so broken, and it pretty much kills anything in its path. In Overwatch, you have a health system, and you can gain extra health dependent upon the character and attributes and abilities that you have. But even with more health or a healer to help out, Bastion's Gatling gun will say heck to your health and obliterates them. I'm serious, I've had times where I've gotten 5 straight kill streak just in one sitting. I know that most enthusiasts of Overwatch are not gonna like that I like Bastion, but guess what? I don't care. Bastion is dope. That is the thing about this game, you really need to choose a character that best fits your playstyle, and making sure that you put yourself in best positions for your team to win. And for your own success is all in the gameplay, which is also really awesome, and the best I've seen in a video game thus far as an FPS goes. The graphics in this game are amazing, and I really like how this game looks like an anime. The feel for the graphics is also awesome, and I love how bright and colorful everything is, and how awesome the models are. For the characters, they look super distinguishable, and everything looks perfect with the graphics in this particular game. This game has some of the best graphics I've ever seen. The sound in this game is really awesome. I love the cheesy Sect voice acting and the sound of guns firing and the clanging of metal. The sound in this game is really one of the most satisfying things about any video game, especially when you're mowing someone down. It is so satisfying, and it's honestly one of the most satisfying things I've ever heard in a video game. I really do love the music as well. This game's soundtrack is upbeat and exciting, but also epic. As I wait for the doors to open for the match to begin, the music starts to get very tense right off the bat, and I love how that music plays when the game starts up, and the music that plays during the match. All in all, Blizzard really made a great soundtrack, along with a fantastic sounding game. The story is really non-existent in this game, so I'll try to tell it as best as I can. Overwatch is set 60 years in a future fictional Earth. 3 years before this came the Omnic Crisis. This was when humanity was at a peak, or a golden age of technology development. Humans at the time were creating robots called Omnics. They were produced in a facility and where they were used to actually gain equality. The crisis began when people were using the technology to create lethal and hostile robots. After an organization called Overwatch, a task force set to destroy said Omnics and save the planet, 2 veteran soldiers in charge of the organization, Gabriel Reyes and Jack Morrison, with the organization of Overwatch, the world was kept safe for years and years. However, just before things were becoming peaceful, there was a refit between the 2 leaders and it became more and more intense. After several failures and a public outcry to end the organization, before the investigation began, an explosion occurred in Switzerland, killing Reyes and Morrison, and others after. This came ultimately destroying Overwatch with the Petrus Act. The game is set some years after the companies have been taken. Overwatch begins a reform through the Petrus Act, forbidding that Morris and Reyes are now hiding. Morris is still trying to figure out why the Overwatch team was disbanded as a vigilante known as Soldier 76, and Reyes is now working for a criminal organization named Talon. He became a Reaper, a terrorist that looks like death. So far, that's the story. I really have no idea if some of the characters will actually extend said story, but I will say for this game, the story is really good. I really like the concept and how the characters intertwine with the story. Each character has something new to bring to the table with the story, and I really enjoy how simple it is. It keeps the player/watcher engaged without making it too long or boring. All in all, the story is fantastic and it really makes me want to watch the animations. The pros very much outweigh the cons for the review of this game. First off, the graphics look fantastic and it is something out of a cyberpunk anime. The gameplay is easy to pick up and really fun. The music is fantastic and the sound is so satisfying, and I love the voice acting in this game. The cons are really only one thing, and that's that sometimes it takes forever to actually get a match, but that's not too much of a flaw in my opinion. Overwatch is a completely fun and amazing video game. There was a ton of hype surrounded upon this game when it first came out, and I can see why this game is one of my favorite games of all time. I give the score a 10 out of 10. This game is fantastic, and anyone who is a fan of first-person shooters or just shooters in general, this game will go down in history as a milestone for how to make a great first-person shooter. Well, we've just finished Overwatch, folks. Thanks for watching. This is the premiere of Season 2. We've got tons more to go.